So, in this video, I want to talk about a topic that is not a topic that is talked about very quite often, and it is about how we glaze towards the people, especially towards the athletic people, how the athletes had stardom upon us. And this video is not about how they hold stardom upon us, but how we ourselves create a stardom about an athlete. And I have been recently watching some Formula One, and my Instagram reels are full of his memes to Max Verstappen and how he can win any position um, from whatever he can start from, whether he start from fifth position, 10th position, or from even pit lane as we have seen recently. This video is recorded in November 2025, and recently won. He got a podium position. He got third position in Brazil F1 track, where he started originally from pit lane, and that was quite an achievement. And and as I was watching those memes, I was thinking about how uh, some fans create this stardom. I get the point. Like he's a great Formula One mm, driver, a racer. Uh, the best, arguably, can be argued. Uh, but the glaze that affect us very badly in many ways. We don't understand it very seriously, and this may be a topic of psychology, but uh, we have to understand about something about it. The first thing is, when we glaze someone, we have to be careful about creating this bubble that whatever he will do, we will support him. And that is a good line. Many people will not glaze to this level, but some will. And those who will glaze to this level, when they will think that whatever he will do in the game, in the driving, in the track, he is right. And we will support him and we will make memes about it, about how great he is, about how he can win position. And even if he do win on those positions that seems impossible, we have to respect it. We have to understand the main purpose of sport, of every sport, is sportsmanship, is to have a good physical and mental health, and most importantly, I am enjoying myself, I am having a good time, and I am not at this level that I am glazing someone. There three are main points. Have a sportsmanship, have a good physical and mental health, and think about myself as average dude, as a dude who is humble. Someone will argue that a point can be made that this mentality will not help you to go further. You have to think about you, and you have to think that you have great talent and you have something far beyond others, and you can do that in order to help build confidence and to believe yourself. But that's the other point. The point I am making is that try not to glaze, try not to make memes about that. In hindsight, you don't understand, but when you watch that, unconsciously you are training your mind to glaze someone. And the next time your favorite athlete, which you are glazing, and you don't think that you are, and if he misses a shot, if he doesn't qualify, if he gets out, if he gets an injury, I'm talking about sports related, not his personal life or the life he is having outside the sports. I am strictly talking about the sport. If he had a bad day at sport, what will be the memes about? The memes will be about, in this case, like Max Verstappen, that he will get a chance, or he depends upon those George Russell and Camantoli. What are those memes? Never in my life I now I think about that the Gora, the Angrez, the white people will enjoy a nasheed, a song about Muslims in that way. And if you don't know what song or what that relates to the Formula One, glad you don't know. You should enjoy Formula One, you should watch it, either you like it or not. This is upon you, but that goes some deep level, and unconsciously you are training your mind to accept it. You accept it that they crashes on purpose, and even now I am doubting that no driver crashes on purpose, but now I am doubting that they do it on purpose. I think about it. So glazing is harmful. Pakistan recently won, whitewashed Sri Lanka in Rawalpindi. There were three one-day matches. Babar scored a fantastic 100 in second. Salman Ali in first, and the, we also won third very convincingly. There was that, and there were glazing memes of Babar Azam, and those were kind of okay and accepted due to the only fact that Babar Azam has a very lean patch for past 2 years. His last century was in October 2023. So October 2024, October 2025, November 2025. So 2 years in 1 month. And that is a long period. There were 82 innings, and in his 83rd inning, he got a century. So that was a very long time. And I'm surely it will help build his confidence back. And he is the best in recent time and the best overall, arguably, for Pakistan and in the world. When he was in form, there were talks about the big five or even big one. He is the best player. So the problem is that when you glaze someone, you want to appreciate that he's a good, he is the best, or he's a better. But when you start glazing, that lies the problem, because you have make the player greater than the game itself, whether he is or he isn't. A player can be greater than the game itself, but you there are very thin line. You don't have to glaze. And I want to do some actions about it, but I don't think that will be very appropriate. People do some very glazing. South Africa is on the tour of India, and the first test won by South Africa. And what I have heard, there were some talks about the South African captain Timber Pavuma. He's a good player. He's a batsman, and he is short in height than the others. So what I heard about that, there were talks about his height, and whether I don't know that is true or correct, but there were some talks about. And when his ego was hurt, I don't know whether it affects him or not, but let's say uh, you don't want to attack personal on personal levels. That is a thin line. You don't want content contact to a non-contact sport. You don't want to go personal. The things you do on sports field are a little bit sludge. You don't want to do that outside on the cricket field. You don't want to go personal at all. Whether it is body shaming, body height, yeah, athlete has to be fit, but you don't have to do body shaming. Oh, why? You don't, you know, just don't select it. You don't have to make insult on it. It is not, the blame does not go to the player, the blame goes to the selector. I'm not talking about Timberboom, but uh, a player is fat and he's not performing for that. The point I am making, you don't have to make personal points. For in Timberboom case, he's a great player, and it you has no right to make fun of him or any other player on personal level. And I think that fueled South African team to play brilliant, played well, brilliant, brilliantly. Yes, brilliantly. They played brilliantly, and I don't know why I'm stuttering. So the memes in India about Timbabuma after they won the first test match were like glazing. His captaincy record is uh, he has captained in last 11 matches. He won 10 matches and there was one draw. So he has not lost. South Africa has not lost in his captaincy, and they are also the World Test Championship champion. They defeated Australia, that was defending champion, in that final. So they defeated defending champion. Uh, They are the champion now. So the glazing memes in India about Timbabuma, about how great he's a player, and they associate a cartoon character. There is a cartoon in India named Motu Patlu. Motu mean fat, Patlu mean slim. And in that cartoon, there is a character named Don, which is quite the low height and is a like a naughty character and a villain, basically a villain in those movies. And they compare that character to the Timbuktu. I, I don't know that is either of love or they has to explain themselves and they call him Don, Don the John. John is his name, that character in that cartoon. So they called him Babuma, John the Don. And the word Don is like a very authoritative figure, and upon that he is also the captain of South Africa. So it actually quite fits to him, the Don of South Africa, the boss of South African team, as he's the captain. So, but the glazing was same as the Max Verstappen after he won in after he got the podium in Brazil, and that is whole another story. There are three races left in Formula One, and he is in third position, and he has to got like he has to defeat both McLaren's player, Lando Norris, and what is the other? Oscar Piastri, I think. And yeah, and Max has to defeat both of them. Yeah, and they are both ahead, so they have a better chance. And Max mm, has to depend, not Max, but the glazing fans are depending upon the other George Russell and Kimi to either crash the cars of McLaren's. A glazing of athlete has enabled to make wishes and assumptions about others to break the laws intentionally, to have a bad habit. It is not, as far as I think, I am not an expert. I have just recently started watching, but as far as I think, it is not in the spirit of Formula One to deliberately crash to the other drivers. And even then, you are not helping yourself, but you are helping another team. member if they crash. But and it is not the strategy of those players, George and Kimi, to crash into the McLarens, and they all know, as far as I think. But the Glazing fans, what should they have to do? Same applies on the Indian fans, for us fan, Pakistani fans, for Babar Azam, for when Pakistani team wins, we glaze so much, and then they lost, and we are like they are the worst team in the whole world. And so the ups and downs has to be a minimum difference so that the downs don't feel as bad, but you also have to make sure the highs don't make your head loose. And me personally, this is responsibility for that team to train, if they understand it, team to train slowly to their fans that it is not okay. Yes, we do need your support. You can show our love, but you do have to understand we are playing a sport. It is okay if we lose. Yes, it is not okay if we don't perform well, if we don't show athleticism, if we don't show sportsmanship, if we do something that is against the rules of games, if we have bad intentions, yes, that is bad. But what we are asking is that you have to show us sport in that way that it is not glazing. You know the understanding of sport. You know that in sport we have some days when we are gonna win and other days when we are gonna lose. Nobody want to see their team lose, but you have to understand it. And in front of your mind, you want to see good sports, good sport. And then the next thing will be that you support your team. And I think that will help every sport and every sport person. That mentality that you want to have good sport, good sportsmanship. And then the team you are supporting you want to see win. If they don't win, you understand that there are some days and you don't start glazing sideways. The Ashes is around the corner. 21st November is the first Ashes in Australia, and that will be very, very interesting. That one, and I am very excited to see. Both teams are very strong. They are both having a very strong narrative. England have baseball, Australia have a very strong uh, bowling lineup, but old lineup. They don't have first four lineup batsmen who they gonna be. We don't know still. As far as I know, England have a young side, but they are playing a form of cricket that you can say is interesting. They play at a very fast rate. They score at a very fast rate. So it will be interesting when England has not performed well in Australia. Joe Root has not scored 100 in Australia. Harry Brook is very interesting. He will be quite crucial for England. Ben Stoke, this can be his last and if he wants to make legacy. England have, I was seeing a stat, have won like there are four or five captains that have won in Australia after World War II. That is quite a few number. And if Ben Stokes win it, and that is a very big if, there will be many changes. Some few Australians would retire, or even if they win, then there will be. And if England win, there will be also some retirements. So, as a neutral viewer, I don't want it to be one-sided at all. I don't want to see some good cricket. And even if I were supporting, for example, Australia, if I was biased, even then I want to see some good cricket and some good fighting from both sides. And then I want to see Australia if I was to support one team. So there is a thin line. You don't have to place. Yes, you can support, but the first rule is sportsman, good in physical, mental health, and then the team you are supporting. If you put the team first, then you do want to you do want your team to do things that are out of the game, against the rules of the game, and you want it. So every other team will want it, and so the games of the rules of the games will go to the dustbin. You don't have to place. That's me, Hamza Hussain, signing out.